Hi there. Thanks for watching Canceling COVID. I'm Tanya Rivens. We have real talk, real conversation for people who are looking for solutions, real solutions, while we're working together to get through this pandemic, protecting our families, ourselves, and of course, our way of life. So much is happening, so much to talk about. We're grateful for our sponsors, Groundwater Solutions, as well as Mecklenburg County Public Health, metcountync.gov. That's metcountync.gov. Hopefully, you're doing good on this. Wednesday. It's very nice weather outside, so if you get a chance to get out, a nice little breeze. I was just out, so shout out to Black Voters Matter as they are doing the freedom rides, recreating what happened in the civil rights era. So as we jump into what's happening here, which is just as important, the COVID-19 deaths have fallen dramatically across the country. They're less than a tenth of what they were at the peak of the pandemic, according to Johns Hopkins University, rather. Nearly 300 people are still dying of COVID 19 every day here in our country. The majority of them dying between the ages of 18 to 29. And those are African American brothers and sisters. In fact, the CDC suggests the racial gap is widening, which should be kind of frightening for a lot of us. Are you surprised that COVID is impacting our youth and the Black community even more than before? Jump in the chat and share your thoughts. I see you hopping on. I'd love to hear your feedback on that. Again, are you surprised the racial gap for COVID deaths has widened? And we've lost a total of 600,000, more than 600,000, and those are lives lost that have transitioned on. So I'm looking for your feedback. You usually do a good job of interacting and sharing with me, so that helps to keep the show really interesting and spicy is what I was getting ready to say, because I just love to hear from you. So hopefully you'll take an opportunity and chime in. Now we're going to jump into the conversation. Groundwater Solutions, one of the sponsors, and today Dr. Tracia Black couldn't make it. And we've got someone that is filling in for her, Earl Owens. And I understand you are the Groundwater Solutions Community Engagement Specialist. So I really appreciate you stepping in and helping us this morning. So good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I said helping us. Good morning, good afternoon. See how I'm all over the place. But thank you so much for joining us. Let's start with what I just shared. Black people make up about 15% of the COVID related deaths from most of the pandemic. But now the CDC is saying that number shifted to 19% in May. Now, is that surprising to you?
Actually, I'm shocked by those numbers because I actually thought it was a lot higher.
You actually
Um,
thought, go
simply
ahead.
simply because I work in the community. Um, I see it. I've
Uh-huh.
experienced the deaths. Not only through our clients, family members, but co-workers, family members, and so on and so forth. So I think that because of that, the impact of it is just more magnified, and that's why I kind of thought the numbers were a lot higher than they actually are.
So you think 19% is lower than what you really expected it to be?
Yes, yes, yeah. I'm kind of I don't know. I almost not want to even believe those numbers.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting observation. So, with that said, and you're out in the community, you're seeing what's happening. What would you say is causing this racial gap to widen? I mean, why aren't we reducing it? More of us are getting vaccinated.
Well, so there's a couple of fronts. Number one, and let's just start at the top tier. With the older persons that have Medicare and Medicaid. So that's a struggle in itself. With persons that have pre-existing conditions. Poor health care, and then the pandemic. During the height of the pandemic, they were even stopping preventive procedures. So
Hmm.
that kind of compounded, people being impacted by the virus, and then you have the young population who feel as though they can catch COVID and not be affected.
Right.
So that's something that really concerns me.
So, we mentioned the number of young adults dying from the virus. You just kind of alluded to that. 25% of young adults in the new study said they would not get vaccinated, while 23% were unsure. Is this the case of vaccine hesitancy? Maybe kind of what you said, for the most part, they just feel like they're invincible?
So yeah, in part, yeah, they feel like that they can't be affected by it. And then they also take the position, well, if somebody their age, happens to get sick and die from it, well, maybe it was something wrong with them. It's almost like, only it's a survival of the fittest, so to speak.
Wow, that's unfortunate to hear that. So there's a major warning headed our way about the Delta variant. I had a conversation with someone this morning. It's more contagious and more deadly. What are you telling people, especially unvaccinated individuals, about potential spikes?
So throughout the pandemic, I have not had so much had a cold, and
Mm.
I have not barricaded myself in my home. As you know, Genesis Project One Groundwater Solutions, we are a grassroots organization. We're in the community, so therefore I'm in the community. As my job title states, I am the community engagement person. So I have to be outside. So I've protected myself. I got vaccinated when it was available, and I encourage others around me to do the same. Even those that that emphatically tell me, no, Earl, I'm not getting vaccinated. I won't do it. I won't put that stuff in my body. They're just trying to kill us off in a different way. So they're putting chip in us and all that, right? Okay, that's fine. So I'm asking that when you are in my presence, please have a mask on, and please, use the precautions that are available to you, readily available to you, that are free, so that you can protect yourself, not only protect yourself, but to protect the people that you come in contact with.
So we've got Earl Owens. He's sitting in for Dr. Tracia Black, Groundwater Solutions, one of the sponsors as well. Let's get the question of the day back up again. I love to see you guys weigh in on it as you're hopping online. In the chat, share your thoughts. Are you surprised that the racial gap for COVID deaths has widened among Black and white? I'm going to say I'm a little surprised, not totally surprised with that question. You've already answered. You think it's a little bit higher. I would have thought that we were doing a little better. I know a lot of people in our community are shying away, and I know some ministries are telling their citizens not to get the vaccine, which is a little disappointing as well. It's just, one of the things that was pointed out to me in an interview is we prayed for God to bring us out of this pandemic, and you can look at one way is of getting a vaccine. If you ask to get out of this pandemic and now you got the vaccine and now you don't want to take it, but again, I don't chastise anyone for not taking it. Don't try to bully people into taking it. I know it's a personal choice, but the idea is, of course, you got to stay safe and protect yourself. And along those lines, when they're around you and you requiring that, I think that wearing a mask, especially in the wintertime and in certain venues around certain populations, and keeping hand sanitizer around, those are some really good habits to form. So I really, really appreciate that. This potential spike, though, coming this way, this whole Delta variant, do you speak on that directly to people when they ask questions about it?
So, my position is just like it's been with, the beginning of the COVID epidemic. Just be mindful and protect yourself. Again, the population of people that we serve are most vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the people that we serve don't even care about don't care about COVID. All they care about getting something to eat. They care about where they're going to sleep at tonight. And then for those that are a little bit more stable, they just want more information. Like I had a client ask me, well, if you're vaccinated, how come I got to get vaccinated?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, if you look at it like that, what about the other people that you come in contact with?
Right.
Your mailman, the grocery store clerk, people that you come in contact with day to day. You can't expect everybody to have a certain level of responsibility, so you just have to take responsibility for yourself. Now, whether you decide to get vaccinated or not, then my suggestion is that you go someplace where they have an abundance amount of PPE and keep that with you and just use it to protect yourself until you decide to get vaccinated, which I believe it's going to come down to that anyway. I mean, look what they're doing in Texas already. They've already started, demanding employees get vaccinated or you will not be able to work.
Yeah, some places here I had shared a radio company. I'm not going to call the name. They're not hiring any new hires if you're not vaccinated. And again, that conversation, I get it. No one can afford to shut their business down again like we did before. There would be no recovery. So I get it. Companies got to protect their investment, and of course, you feel like you have the right to decide. And of course, the flip side of that is, well, if I don't get it, I can just keep wearing the mask. The problem is people aren't doing exactly what they say they're doing all the time, and so you don't want to expose your business to that opportunity or that challenge or just the possibility of getting in that situation. So the US has fully vaccinated 150 million people for COVID, and it's expected to fall short of President Biden's goal for 70% of adults to get at least one shot by the 4th of July. What are your thoughts on that and the progress that has been made since that goal was set?
So I just think that it falls now that I kind of feel like it falls on the media. They should probably just ramp up the encouragement of getting vaccinated, because after all, you have another side that's encouraging you not to get it vaccinated. And they're playing on the stigma of, this vaccination is designed to kill you. This vaccination is designed to control you. This vaccination is designed to um, put a chip in you. I mean, I've heard so many different things, and so I kind of feel like that maybe the pro bullhorn needs to be turned up, so where the community can hear from us, so the community can hear from us what it means to get vaccinated. As you know, I work for a company that we promote vaccination.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. We're not soliciting it. We promote it, and we promote wellness and health. Both physically and mentally. So
So now, Earl Owens again with Groundwater Solutions. Dr. Tracia Black had an emergency, so she's not with us today. But let me just touch on when you mentioned media. So I have a little different take on that. Obviously, these are the people that control the purse strings. If they are willing to create a campaign to get more of the information out, then that's what they should do. I feel the ground level, groundwater level, is where it needs to happen. We're still doing the same old plan of the larger networks and I saw Dr. Fauci yesterday on CNN. Am I salty that we submitted a request and of course we got declined? That's the key. You got all the big networks, because yes, you go for as many people as you can, but you also need to go low and find people that are out in the trenches and talk to them as well. And the point to that is this is how you've always run campaigns and you see where it gets you. So why not try something different? Is my whole point with that. So yeah, you're right. More money should be committed to that. But from all standpoints, I believe there's money committed. It's just the way it's being distributed. Again, you got to go behind the nooks and crannies and all out in the ditches, like what you guys are doing to reach people if you're really trying to change their mindset and educate them on that. So speaking of you guys and what you're doing, you're always out in the community. Where are you out today testing and working?
so today, for all of you that are listening, we are at the Best Value Inn that is sponsored by the Roof Above, which is the homeless shelter for the men of Charlotte. Um, we are at the University Adult Care Center. Where and these are places that we've been frequenting throughout the pandemic. Just to give you a little snippet. So about 5 months ago, I had approached the men's shelter to put on a COVID testing event, and they declined because they did not want the responsibility of knowing if they had any positive tests there. Well,
Now, hey, whoa. That's shocking. That they would rather take a chance of people being there with COVID versus having them informed and knowing that they had COVID because they didn't want the responsibility.
so let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
So a month later, somebody called the health department. So the health department came in there and ran tests, and they found 103 positive results.
Ooh.
And so they had to vacate the shelter and disperse all of these people into the hotels.
Whereas
Now,
they
I'm
could
not
have
talking about Tent City. I'm not
right.
talking about Tent City. I'm talking about the shelter. So now if you go down to the shelter today, there's not a soul in there other than the employees, because they did not want to voluntarily test people. And as a result, they had 103 positive tests and changed the whole way they're doing business right now.
And costing them more money.
Exactly. So now they've doubled back and partnered with us. So now we're doing COVID testing. Of course, you have to have a COVID test in order to get your vaccination. That's the one thing that we do different from, like, say, going down to Atrium. You know, they'll just give you the vaccination, ask you if you had a fever or cold in the last few days, and then give your vaccination. But we actually give you a rapid COVID test, give you the vaccination, and then give you the long test, so that, you know, we're sure that you are healthy, you've been vaccinated, and then if you're not, you have the opportunity of getting healthy through us.
Well, that's good to know. And I just got a comment from Travis Rivens. That's my sister. She says, wow, that's alarming information. And it is alarming. And that's the unfortunate part, is with dealing with this. You would like to think that people are operating in the best interest of their fellow man or fellow woman, but yet and still, like, that selfish decision of not wanting the voluntary testing and now having to shut down the whole facility. That's just, you know, it's frustrating. I can't say not totally unexpected, because our whole moral compass has been off here in this country for as it is. Is there anything else you would like to share, Mr. Owens, as we wrap things up?
Oh yeah. So Groundwater Solutions, Genesis Project One, you know, we're in the community. We are doing, you know, the work, you know, for the underserved population. We provide COVID testing, vaccination, food, you know, PPE, anything that a human being may need, you know, to survive, you know, what's going on in this world today. You know, we have a hand in it.
Well, and we're grateful for that. Of course, the website is groundwater-solutions.org, groundwater-solutions.org, 704-596-0505. Mr. Earl Owens, and he handles community engagement for Groundwater Solutions. One more thing?
One more thing I forgot to say, because Dr. Black wanted me to make sure that I mention this. So tomorrow, the Biden administration will be observing the Groundwater Solutions mobile testing lab in Raleigh.
In Raleigh. Okay. I was going to say, where will you guys be? So you'll be in Raleigh. So that's good information. And hopefully you guys can have a conversation with that administration about some out of the, let's say, non-traditional ways of trying to improve on these numbers. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Yeah.
All right. Enjoy your afternoon. More of you I see are hopping on. I'd love to get your comment to the question of the day. Travis, I see you were shocked by that information about the shelter. But the question of the day about the racial gap for COVID deaths has widened. And for people who has lost someone, I can remember just thinking, wow, if they just had the vaccination or the vaccine around, you know, it came a little too late for some people. 600,000 people, as a matter of fact, more than 600,000. So we still have a little time if you want to hop on and give your comments. I would like to share on Saturday there, and I'll share this again on Friday. There's a vaccination clinic at Little Rock, AME Zion, right there on McDowell Street. And they'll have free food and an opportunity for you to come through and get vaccinated. And that's on Saturday. I believe that kicked off at 10 o'clock. And then on Sunday, we're doing the same thing in Smithville at Smithville Park, which is exit 28. Salute Smithville is the name of the event. And you'll have an opportunity to get tested, get vaccine, free food. We're giving away food. And it's going to be like a block party. So a DJ will be there, and hopefully you'll join us as well. That kicks off at 2 o'clock on Sunday. So make some plans this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, to come out and join us. That's pretty much all I have for today. Dr. Black, again, hopefully everything works out with what's going on with you. And thank you again to Earl Owens for joining us. We'll be here on Friday, and we're going to talk about how domestic violence that is, and the impact that COVID has had on that as well. So as always, life's challenges make you better, not bitter. I'm Tanya Rivens. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you get out and make it a great day. And certainly together, we're going to cancel COVID. Thank you to our sponsor, Mecklenburg County Public Health, that is, metcountync.gov, metcountync.gov. or Groundwater Solutions, as you hear from them every Wednesday. They're out and about in the community as well. Thanks everyone for hopping on. Have a good afternoon.